Listen, at the end of the day, cup finals are all about who wins. Nobody's really that bothered. For the spectator, for the fan, of course, you want to see attacking football. You want to see goals. But this is Manchester United we're talking about. This is a team that haven't done that all season, but have done enough. And that's what they did here. They absolutely, and no question, it was like men against boys in this game. Man United, as professional a job as you'll ever see, comfortable as you'll ever see, and they're in the Champions League. That was the goal before the kick-off, and they've made it.
The worst thing that could have happened for the neutral is an early goal by Manchester United. And it happened. Because then at that point, everything got very comfortable for Manchester United. Behind the ball, settle, organized, moving together side to side, back to front. Whereas Ajax, well, a whole lot of sideways passing. This way and that way and this way and that way. Never penetrating Manchester United, never able to get in behind. There was no space in behind. The youth of Ajax showed because there was a certain naive attitude as to how they were going to play Manchester United. They thought that their individual talent was going to be enough on 1v1 situations. Well, it doesn't work that way when you have a very organized team. Ajax got frustrated. They didn't know what to do. Manchester United dominated this game, which is difficult to do, dominated this game without having the ball. In order to do that, you have to be very disciplined. You have to be very organized.
Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed. At the beginning of this game, Manchester United pressed a little higher. Still kept the space compact. Ajax had trouble getting out. We saw that with the first goal. As soon as they got that goal, they dropped off, made everything so difficult to play through the middle. Ajax didn't have any answers. You look at then how Manchester United was able to switch into going into, you know what, now we can be direct. They knew exactly what they were doing. Fellaini pushed up. Pogba was around in case Fellaini wasn't there. But Marwan Fellaini was dominant with his head, dominant with his chest. They didn't have an answer for it. And when you look at a game like this and not having the ability to get wide and to cause problems with width, you know that Ajax are going to struggle.
Let's bring Gab in on this one. He was tweeting away throughout the game, and I want to get it right because it was a pretty harsh tweet here, Gab. This is your tweet maybe midway through the second half. Wonder if someone will ask Peter Bosz if he actually watched United play before tonight or if he thought it would be more fun not to prepare. Pretty harsh criticism.
It was, but I was just really disappointed in Ajax. Now, there's a cliche that we have with Dutch football where they all come out and they say, well, no, we're going to play our way. We're not going to worry about what the opposition go out and do. But goodness me, you need to have a plan B, especially if you concede the early goal. You know what you're facing. You know what United's strengths and weaknesses are. You know that man for man, they're a better side than you. Try something different instead of this endless, sterile, sideways possession playing in front of them all the time. Dolberg had an awful game, but you know what? Maybe if once in a while you mixed it up with the ball in the air to him, see what he can do against Smalling and Blind, who haven't played together much at all this season. Try more individual runs. You've got people who can dribble. Instead, it seemed like other than Ziyech, there was nobody who was going north-south. And it's not a knock on United. United were very good. United can't help how poor Ajax were.
Yeah, but it's one thing to say try and go forward early and maybe throw some balls in, but I said earlier that this game was men against boys, and I don't mean just professionally, I mean physically. Even just looking at this game, it was men against boys, so there's certainly one thing they couldn't do, and that was just throw the ball. I mean, Marwan Fellaini stuck out today because of his physicality, because Ajax don't have any. And unless Ajax pass the ball around, they ain't going to beat you any other way. They don't have a plan B. It's impossible.
Okay, but I think that's down to the manager. That's down to a manager who felt that for this game it was best to go and stick and try to pass holes around them as if they were Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, which obviously that they're not. I just thought it was frustrating when it clearly wasn't working. And the other thing with the kids and the naivete, the one bonus of playing with kids, if you're a well-drilled team, is you can give them instructions and they'll follow them because they're not going to be as likely to go and think for themselves. And I was just surprised that he didn't say, all right, well, if this doesn't work, let's try something different. Let's try different options. We have youth. We've got freshness on our side. let's try that. Instead, it was just the same thing over and over again for 90 minutes, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a definition of insanity.